Welcome back, welcome back. Now my next guest, a special guest, is Angelique Kidjo, one of the world's most influential African-based singers, with stars like Peter Gabriel, Alicia Keyes, Carlos Santana lining up, and indeed Joss Stone too, lining up to work with her. Born and raised in Benin, West Africa, Angelique has been nominated for 5 Grammys, and earlier this year she won the Best World Music Album Award, a Grammy. Alongside her music, she's also a UNICEF Goodwill Ambassador and has opened her own educational foundation. But before we talk to her, here's a clip of Angelique in action at a Nelson Mandela charity concert in Cape Town. Great stuff there, great stuff there. Angelique, you've changed your hair colour since then.
I'm wondering if I'm gonna cut my hair completely, be bald, or just continue, because I'm a little bit tired of hair.
A bit tired of hair. It takes a lot of looking
It's a lot
after.
of work.
Yeah, a lot of work.
Long hair is nice, beautiful, as you can say it, but the work it demands for us women to be so nice and good looking, you guys don't have a clue.
I know. It's just not a fair world.
No, it's not.
Tragic. It's tragically unfair. Who was the inspiration as you were growing up for your music? Was it Miriam Makeba, for instance?
It was first my auntie, that was a traditional singer, that taught me a lot of songs about our family, all the ceremony of birth, death, anything that is linked to the family, and also in general, I sing it. And my mom was also a great player in my life as a singer, because she was a choreographer and a theater director. So I started singing basically with my mom. I was 6 years old.
6 years old.
And then when I grew up and I started singing more and more, it becomes difficult, because when you're born a girl in Africa and you're a traditional singer, everything is okay. But as soon as you start becoming a performer, you're on stage with what our elderly call the instrument of evil, which are drums, keyboard, guitar, bass.
Are they all evil?
Oh, they're all evil because they come from the Western world.
Okay.
And then you're on stage and dancing, then it's shifted a little bit. In the society, you're perceived as a prostitute. And at one point, I was wondering, when I was 12 years old, I recall correctly, one day I was coming back from school, and I have some friends from school that were behind me, giving me all those names. And I came back home crying, and I said, I don't want to sing anymore. And my grandmother looked at me and said, would you let people decide for what you're going to do, or you're going to decide for yourself? Fantastic. You just do what you like to do. We are here, we support you, we know who you are, we know what you do. And then here comes Miriam Makeba, an African woman. Here comes Aretha Franklin. In all those music that my brothers were listening to that were Motown, Stax, but it was a group of women. And then suddenly you have those 2 women that really transcend everything that I was listening to. And I said to myself, if they both can do it, I surely can.
And when did you leave Benin in order to do it? How old were you?
I lived Benin in 1983. I was 23 years old. And it was not a very easy decision to make, especially for my parents, because they have 2 worries: prostitution and drugs, if you don't have the money. Because, because they know that Europe, it's not community oriented. And I promised them that as hard as it will be for me to restart my career from the bottom, I would not do those 2 things. And if it's too hard for me, I don't care. If I have to clean somebody's house, if I have to clean hotel rooms to find the money to buy my ticket to come back, I will do so. So that was the commitment and the agreement that I have with my parents before I leave. And I really stick to that.
Peter Gabriel, another great fan of yours, said you're one of the most wonderful, talented, powerful artists to come out of Africa. And he went on to say, she is a fireball. You don't mess around. She eats men for dinner.
Yeah.
How about that?
He knows what he's talking about, because every time we are together, it's always shake him around. I always shake him around. Go, come on, Peter, let's do this. Let's do that. Come and dance with me. And then he come and dance with me, and he can't resist because I saw him on the side of the stage dancing. I said, why do you stay on the side dancing? Come with me. You're not British anymore. You're African, half African. He would crack up laughing.
And in your in Gin, in your latest album, you perform with with Peter Gabriel, we mentioned. There's Joss Stone in there,
Santana.
And Santana, a great cross-section of people. And is there anyone that you would really dream of working with in the same way?
Aretha Franklin.
Oh, yeah.
I would love to do something with her. And I would also love to work with Amy Winehouse if she is willing to try something a little bit African in the R&B that she does, because R&B come from Africa.
R&B. A lot of music comes from Africa.
All of it. Blues come from Africa.
Yeah, all of it. And the different varieties of music that you play are just so varied and so on. Would you, at the end of this delightful conversation, would you sing us out with something?
If you want.
If you would.
All right. I will sing you a thanking song that we sing most of the time when we have blessing, we have a good day. We thank the Lord, we thank nature for giving us the opportunity to gather together and to be happy and not to be sick, and thanks to the Lord. So, blewet, blewet, blewet mianda kwelo, blewet mianda kwelo, blew. Gaga ga po manyona sonlio, bleu bleu po manyona sonlio la doa sikwe da ta ta, bleu.